Okay, so let's dive into something I think we've all probably dreaded at some point.
Yeah.
Job interviews.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, that feeling, the resume is polished, you got the outfit plan,
Right.
but all those interview questions are like swirling around in your head.
Absolutely.
So today we're going to unpack some common interview questions
Right.
and explore how to craft answers that'll really help you stand out.
Yeah.
And our source material for this deep dive is Ace the Interview: Common Questions and Answers.
Okay.
And it provides a pretty solid foundation, but we're going to go beyond the generic advice and delve into some strategies
Love it.
that'll really help you nail these interviews.
It's not just about having the right answers.
Right.
It's about showcasing your personality and your thought process
Yeah,
and what makes you uniquely qualified.
right. It's about showing them why they need you on their team.
Exactly.
So let's start with that classic icebreaker. Tell me about yourself.
Oh, yeah.
It seems simple enough, but so many people just stumble right out of the gate.
It's tempting to just launch into a chronological rundown of your resume,
Right.
but that's not what they're looking for.
No.
They want a concise and engaging narrative that highlights your key skills
Yeah.
and experience the ones that are most relevant to the job.
So it's like a 30-second elevator pitch for your career, but with a little more personality?
Think of it as a highlight reel
Okay.
of your professional journey. You want to capture their attention from the start and make them eager to hear more.
The source suggests mentioning years of experience and specific skills, but what are some ways to really make this answer stand out?
Weaving in a specific achievement or project you're particularly proud of
Oh,
can make a big difference. It adds a touch of personality
yeah.
and shows you're not just reciting a script.
Oh, that's a great tip.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to a question that can be a real curveball. Why do you want to work here?
Oh, yeah.
We all know the real answer is sometimes because I need a job,
Right.
but obviously that's not what we say in the interview.
Of course not.
Yeah.
This question is your chance to show them you've done your homework
Okay.
and you're genuinely interested in this company, not just any company.
So how do we go beyond the generic, I admire your company's values type of answer?
Specificity is key.
Okay.
Mention something specific that impressed you about their work, whether it's a recent product launch,
Hmm.
a company initiative, or even a blog post that resonated with you.
So it's about showing that you're not just looking for a paycheck, you're actually invested in their mission
Right.
and excited about the prospect of contributing.
Absolutely. And if you can connect your skills and experiences to the specific need they have, that's even better.
Oh, yeah.
It shows you're already thinking about how you can add value.
Now let's tackle a question that often feels like a trap. What is your biggest weakness?
Ooh, yeah.
It feels like they're trying to get us to admit something that will disqualify us.
It can feel that way, but it's actually an opportunity
Okay.
to showcase your self-awareness and your commitment to growth.
The source recommends being honest about a weakness, but also highlighting how you're working on it.
Right.
But let's be real. Some weaknesses are more forgivable than others.
Sure.
Are there any weaknesses that are actually strengths in disguise?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
For example, if you're someone who tends to be overly detail-oriented, you could frame it as a strength by saying something like, I sometimes get caught up in the details, but it's because I'm passionate about delivering high-quality work.
Oh.
Or if you're someone who's a bit too critical of your own work, you could say, I tend to hold myself to very high standards, which sometimes means I spend extra time perfecting things. However, I'm learning to balance my pursuit of excellence with efficiency.
So it's about finding that positive spin without sounding disingenuous.
Precisely, and it's important to provide a concrete example of how you're actively addressing this weakness.
Yeah.
It shows you're not just acknowledging it, you're taking proactive steps to improve.
What are some common pitfalls that people fall into when answering this question?
One mistake is choosing a weakness that's actually essential for the job.
Oh, like if you're applying for a sales position and you say you're not very good at talking to people.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably not going to go over well.
Okay.
Another pitfall I've seen is people trying to disguise a strength as a weakness.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just too much of a workaholic.
Right. It comes across as insincere, and it doesn't really demonstrate self-awareness.
So it's all about finding that sweet spot of being honest and demonstrating a growth mindset while still showcasing your strengths.
Exactly. And remember, it's not about presenting a perfect image.
Right.
It's about showing them that you're aware of your areas for improvement and you're actively working on them.
Yeah.
That's a quality any employer would value.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the future.
Okay.
That age-old question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, yeah.
It always makes me feel like I need to have my whole life planned out.
I think we've all been there. It's easy to feel pressured to give a super specific answer, like you're predicting the future.
Right.
But interviewers aren't looking for a fortune teller.
So what are they really looking for with this question?
It's about gauging your ambition, your vision for your career, and how that aligns with the company's goals.
Okay.
They want to see if you've thought about your future and if this role fits into that picture.
The source mentions avoiding being too specific.
Right.
But how do you strike that balance between having a vision but not sounding like you're already planning your exit strategy?
Think of it less like a detailed roadmap and more like a general direction.
Okay.
You could say something like, I'm passionate about, and then you name the specific area that's related to the job,
Uh,
and I see myself continuing to develop my expertise in this field.
Oh.
I'm eager to take on new challenges and contribute to the company's growth in a meaningful way.
That makes a lot of sense. It shows that you're ambitious and you're forward-thinking, but also open to different possibilities within the company.
Yeah. Exactly, and it's a great opportunity to circle back to something specific you learned about the company during your research.
Right.
Like you could say, I'm particularly interested in the company's focus on.
Mm.
And then you mention whatever specific initiative or area,
Yeah.
and I see myself playing a key role in that growth.
Now let's dive into a question that often feels like a mini essay. Describe a challenging situation and how you handled it.
Oh, yeah.
I always struggle to come up with a good example on the spot.
It's definitely a question that requires some pre-planning.
Yeah.
Think about times in your career when you faced a difficult situation, you overcame an obstacle, or you learned a valuable lesson.
Right.
Have a few specific examples in mind that you can adapt to different interview settings.
The source suggests a structure for the answer, outlining the challenge, the steps you took, and the outcome.
Yeah.
But how do you make your answer truly memorable?
It's all about the storytelling, you know?
Yeah.
Don't just recite the facts. Paint a picture for the interviewer. Bring them into the situation. Describe the emotions you were feeling and highlight the key decisions you made.
It's not just about what you did, but like how you thought, how you felt during that process.
Exactly. And the lesson you learned is just as important as the outcome.
Right.
It shows that you're self-reflective and you're constantly seeking to improve.
What are some common mistakes that people make when answering this question?
One mistake is choosing an example that doesn't really showcase your strengths. You want to pick a situation where you demonstrated problem-solving skills, leadership qualities, or the ability to work effectively under pressure.
It's so tempting to downplay your role in the situation, but like,
Yeah.
this is your chance to shine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another mistake is focusing too much on the problem and not enough on the solution.
Right.
You want to make sure you highlight the steps you took to resolve the situation and the positive outcome you achieved.
It's about showcasing your ability to overcome those challenges and learn from the experience.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to show some vulnerability.
Okay.
Talk about the challenges you faced, the doubts you had, and how you persevered.
Okay, let's talk about motivation.
Okay.
That question, what motivates you, always makes me want to blurt out money.
Right.
But I know that's not the answer they're looking for.
We all need to pay the bills,
Yeah.
but there's usually something deeper that drives us in our work.
Yeah, the source mentions things like learning problem solving, contributing to a team. But how do you articulate those motivations in a way that's authentic and compelling?
Think about what truly excites you about this field.
Okay.
What are the challenges that you enjoy tackling? What kind of impact do you want to make?
Connect your personal motivations to the company's mission and values.
So if you're passionate about innovation, you can talk about how you're driven by finding creative solutions to complex problems.
Exactly. Or if you're motivated by helping others, you could talk about how you're drawn to this company's commitment to social responsibility. So it's about finding that intersection between your personal values and the company's values.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to get a little personal.
Okay.
Share a brief anecdote or experience that illustrates what drives you. It'll make your answer more memorable and relatable.
All right, on to a question that's designed to test your composure.
Okay.
How do you handle pressure or stressful situations? Deep breaths, everyone. This one can feel a little intense.
It's a question that's meant to assess your ability to stay calm, focused, and productive under pressure.
Yeah.
They want to see that you have strategies for managing stress and that you won't crumble under pressure.
The source suggests mentioning coping mechanisms like prioritizing tasks, using techniques like deep breathing or time management. But what are some other ways to demonstrate your resilience?
Talk about your mindset. You know, do you view challenges as opportunities for growth? Do you have a positive outlook even when things get tough?
So it's not just about the practical techniques, but also about your mental approach to those stressful situations.
Precisely, you could say something like, I thrive in fast-paced environments, and I see pressure as a motivator to perform at my best. I'm adept at prioritizing tasks, delegating effectively, and maintaining a positive attitude, even under tight deadlines.
Now, let's talk about the moment when the tables are turned and you get to ask the questions. Do you have any questions for us?
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah, this is your chance to show that you're engaged and curious.
This is not the time to relax and coast to the finish line.
Right.
The questions you ask can be just as important as the answers you've given.
So the source mentions asking about company growth, team culture, or next steps in the hiring process. But how do you go beyond the generic questions and really impress them?
Think about the conversations we've had today. You've learned a lot about the company, their values, and the challenges they're facing. Use this opportunity to dig deeper and demonstrate your genuine interest.
So if they've mentioned a new product launch, you could ask about their strategy for entering that market.
Exactly. Or you could ask about the team's approach to a specific challenge that's relevant to your skills.
Hmm.
It shows you're already thinking about how you can contribute and you're eager to learn more.
What are some questions that are generally best to avoid?
Steer clear of questions that are easily answered with a quick Google search.
Oh, okay.
You want to show that you've done your research and you're asking insightful questions that demonstrate your critical thinking skills.
Also, avoid questions that are solely focused on your own personal gain, like salary or benefits.
Right?
Those are important topics, but there's a time and a place for them.
Right. This is about showing that you're interested in the company and the role,
Yeah.
not just what they can do for you.
So it sounds like asking the right questions can really turn the interview into more of a conversation.
Yeah,
It shows that you're not just there to answer their questions, but to really understand if it's the right fit for both of you.
absolutely. And don't forget about those nonverbal cues.
Yeah.
Maintain eye contact, be mindful of your body language, and project confidence.
It's funny how those small details can make such a big difference.
Right.
It's almost like a silent language that conveys your enthusiasm and professionalism.
Exactly. And remember, enthusiasm is contagious.
Oh, yeah.
If you're genuinely excited about the opportunity, it will shine through.
We've covered so much today.
I know, right?
We've gone beyond the surface level advice and really dug into those strategies that can help anyone ace an interview.
We've covered a lot of ground, but ultimately the most important thing is to be yourself.
Yeah.
Authenticity is key.
So don't try to be someone you're not.
Right.
Embrace your unique strengths and let your personality shine through.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, they're not just hiring a set of skills, they're hiring a person.
I love that. It's
I-
not just about fitting into a mold. It's about showing them what makes you stand out from the crowd.
Right before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
Think about this. Beyond having the perfect answers, what unique value can you bring to a company? What makes you different?
Oh, that's such a great question to reflect on. It goes beyond the resume and the interview script. It's about identifying your unique strength, your passions, and your perspective.
It's about owning your story and showing them why you're not just a candidate, but the right person for the job.
This has been such an insightful deep dive. I feel like I'm armed with a whole new arsenal of interview strategies.
And remember, the more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
To everyone out there preparing for that big interview, good luck, you got this.